All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are live on the Dr. Larry White Senior Show, and we have an amazing show planned for you tonight. Shout out to Source Nation, Kathy B, and also Tracy Jeffcoat, who's an amazing producer who takes care of all the things behind the scenes, the lighting, and all that good stuff. So I just want to start off before we bring our special VIP guest on tonight, who's an amazing and beautiful woman of God, mother, author, entrepreneur. But look, I want to tell you all, come on out November 8th to my book launch. We have our book launch November 8th, and that's going to be at Libations, 6 to 9 p.m., complimentary hors d'oeuvres, free parking, red carpet. Please come on and just enjoy some networking on red carpet, and we look forward to seeing you all on book launch on November the 8th. So listen, I have a special VIP guest tonight. We were blessed to be VIP judges for the Miss African American USA pageant. She is so amazing. I was just telling her offline that, the people that I interview for my show are God sent, meaning like Dr. Larry White doesn't say, interview this person. The Lord says you need to interview this person. So I'm going to bring her on board, but I do want to just share a few things really quickly. So we have some questions that we're going to ask her, but amazing woman. She just published a book. So as we get ready to introduce her, I would just say for our VIP guest tonight, author Linda Arrey, Arrey, if I may pronounce that properly, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers, who you are and what you do? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dr. Larry White Senior Show, Linda Arrey.
Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's out there and has actually taken time today to rejuvenate, recuperate, and spend time with loved ones. Okay? And Dr. Larry, I want to first start by thanking you and your team for having me here today. As you said, the Lord speaks and we walk. So I'm really looking forward to whatever the Lord leads me to share with you all tonight. So,
absolutely, and I got to tell you, we got some predetermined questions, but we're gonna dig a little deeper, and we're gonna really get to know who you are and the product and services that you provide. So we really appreciate it that you being on the show tonight. And so we're gonna go into question number 2. From your introduction and from reading your bio, you are well experienced and acknowledged. And we didn't read your bio, so we can get you to talk about that. Why do you identify first as a wife and a mother and not Air Force captain? Wow, Air Force captain. And I can appreciate that, author Linda Arrey, because I'm a Navy guy. I was enlisted, and I realized, wow, she was an Air Force officer, author, certified coach, and all of that. So tell us about that. So you start off being, first a wife and a mother. Tell us a little bit about that.
We identify to the things that we are most connected with and the things that we most appreciate in life. So I know the whole gender disparity thing. And when we talk about women empowerment, a lot of people question why some women go about identifying first as a wife or a mother. Like, you're more than just a wife and a mother. But as I said, we identify to the things that are most important to us and the people that we're most connected with. And to me, family is everything. So if I'm not a wife and if I'm not a mother to my children, all those certificates and accolades, they mean nothing. Because the reason we go out there and do what we do is so we can come home and spend quality time, take care of our children, and build a legacy for our families. So the things that are most important to me is family, my children, my husband, and that extends to even my parents, my siblings, and my close net of tribe of women. So family and building real relationships is more important to me than all the certificates and title. And I really want to send this message to other women. Loving your family, loving your kids doesn't take away from all your accomplishments. So if you want to go out there and proclaim your family. You know, it's not a certificate, you know, it's not an accomplishment per se, because I truly believe that marriage is a ministry. It's not, you get a marriage certificate out of it, but it's a ministry that you enter into. So if you want
Amen.
to honor that ministry, please do. It doesn't take away from any other thing. It doesn't take away from any other certificate, or it doesn't make you less empowered.
Well, look, Author Linda Arrey, I just love the question. I love how you answered. I love your dialect. I love the way you speak. Listen, I want to take you back. Since we didn't read your bio, we're going to go through that. Tell us about how you came up as a young person in elementary school, middle school, high school, uh, how you end up joining the military. How did you become this entrepreneur? You know, tell us a little bit about your childhood and then how you matriculated into becoming a Air Force officer and now a published author, as we talk about now, a beautiful woman of God and a great mom. But tell us a little bit how you became who you are today.
That's hilarious. That's a conversation that will need another show. Because, well, I was born in Cameroon, West Africa. I grew up in a family of educators. Both of my parents were educators, very strict parents. And back in the days, as a child, you don't appreciate them being strict and instilling those values in you, right? But as you grow up and you realize the woman that you become, it makes you really appreciate your upbringing and all those values that my parents and the structure that they really instilled in us. So my parents being educators really taught me and my siblings the value of social responsibility and actually being valuable citizens of society. It taught us the value of pursuing higher education and the value of really just nurturing and preserving family. So when we get older and we set out in life, you know, we always remember those values. And that's a message that I take with me, and that's a message that I instill in my kids, because we don't have to always wait for our children to get older before we start teaching them social responsibility or how they should go. We need to start teaching them young. Because think about it. How many hours do we really spend at home every day, especially on the weekdays? So we have to make sure that the few times we spend at home with our children are very valuable. So whatever we instill in them, when they go out there and spend those 8-hour days in school, and with all the influences outside, that they can always look back to what we teach them at home. You know, so it's my foundation and the upbringing that my parents and my siblings and just the tribe around me that I grew up with, both in Cameroon and when we migrated to Atlanta, Georgia. That's really what, you know, is the backbone of the woman that I became. You know, joining the military really was never my thing. It was something that I woke up one day and said, oh, I don't have, you know, my goal was to be a healthcare administrator, a managed care organizational manager for Kaiser Permanente. And they restructured the company and things didn't go as planned. And I found myself with a master's degree in business and healthcare administration and not knowing what I wanted to do with it. And we're talking to my brother. He's a medical doctor in the United States Army. And he said, you know, the Air Force actually has a really great healthcare administration program. And as I said, this story is so long, but this story really taught me about being determined and being resilient and being consistent. Because my journey of joining the military, what everybody else did in 12 months, I only had 2 months to do. But that was intentional. I was determined and I was consistent. And with those 3 words and values, I really put in everything I could and actually got a call us interview, which led to me actually getting the job that I applied for. So, you know, and with that, you know, I have worked with women for several years, and I always really wanted to create a positive environment where women can come together and support each other and not tear each other apart.
Sure.
You know, we met on, you know, Miss Africa USA pageant stage. You know, it was on that same stage many years ago, back in 2005, that, you know, I really wanted just seeing women competing in a way that they're not competing to really, you know, they say you win with so much, you know, you win with and you still keep, you still, even if you win, you still have that dignity and valor around you. And even if you lose, you still don't lose sight of the purpose. So I really wanted to create an environment where women can come together and just support each other. It's not about the crown, because I truly believe that we are all queens. We all have an invisible crown. We all have a cape. It's just how you carry yourself and your intentions. And I also believe that your vibe attracts your tribe. So if you're that negative Mary in a room, don't complain if nobody wants you in their circle. So we should propel what we want to receive, because I really believe in building a tribe of women, because I think we're such a powerful force together. With that it's really that made me venture into coaching and decided to pursue certification as a life coach and a leadership coach.
Absolutely. Linda, I will tell you, you have dropped some golden nuggets, about, just community partnerships, and your vibe is your tribe. And I've been just taking some notes. I'm just so in awe about all the things you're doing. As I was talking to you, the Lord put it on my spirit, to have my black tie gala in Newark, Delaware in March. We did it last year in April, and it was nice. We had a black tie networking event on Friday night. Then we followed up with an empowerment workshop. And so I know you will be intricate with a message to help us with that. So I just thank you for that. And I'm going to the next question here. It says, in your book, Memoirs of a Working Mother, you provide motivation, life lessons, and strategies for mothers and women in general. What motivated you to write this book?
When I started writing Memoirs of a Working Mother, it really was at a point in my life where I had hit rock bottom physically. So I was 24 weeks pregnant when I woke up one day and I was in this excruciating pain, and I didn't know what it was. I found myself walking to the emergency room, and to find out, that I may actually be having my baby preterm at 24 weeks. That scared me. But the good news is I wasn't having my baby preterm. I actually had a severe case of uterine fibroids. And I had to go on bed rest at 24 weeks. And this is me, somebody that is constantly working. I was always on the go. And at 24 weeks, and for those who done the baby timeline, that's about, 5 months. I had to go on bed rest. That is 4 months before my baby came. I was put on bed rest. And I thought I was going to lose my mind, just what am I going to do on bed rest? But I had to realize that the things that are most important right now, or the people that were most important right now, were two people: taking care of myself and making sure that I bring a healthy baby to this world. It was during that time, and when I really adopted that mind shift and started valuing the things that were more important, it wasn't work. That work will be fine. That clinic will open whether I show up or not, or whether I ever show up. They were going business as usual. But I really had to realize how to take care of myself. With that time, I started communicating a lot with my baby. I journaled a lot and talk. I would communicate with my unborn child, talk about the challenges I was going through, talk about the pain, talk about every accomplishment or milestone that I accomplished. And then I wondered how many women were really going through what I was going through and not talking about. Uterine fibroids, it's one of those things that 1 million women in the world suffer from uterine fibroids. We don't have enough research. We don't have enough research to really determine, what causes it, enough solutions for it, and enough support systems for that. So I really started thinking about the number of women that are going through this and don't even have a platform or avenue to talk about it, And also the number of women that are forced to go on bed rest early due to pregnancy complications. And they have to think about how they're going to turn the lights on or put food on the table. I was fortunate because I was gainfully employed by the United States government, so I had a paycheck. But my business suffered because I didn't have the strength and ability to wake up every day and do as much as I would do. But then it's a lot of people that don't have alternate sources of income. So with that, just the journals of this moment where I was physically in pain and physically not capable to perform at 100, and this journals of communicating with my baby, they then turn into this book and addressing, the importance of really empowering women to have flexibility through finances by having alternate sources of income, and also that motivation for all the things we go through, past uterine fibroids to postpartum depression, health issues that we don't talk about, and also just providing strategies that we can use to navigate through life. Because I truly believe in empowering the woman at home to be able to be that support system that the husband needs. And don't get me wrong, I'm the manager of my home, but guess who leads my home? My husband.
Sure.
Often we hear people say the Bible says a woman should honor her husband. The Bible does say that. But the Bible also says that the man would love his wife as much as Christ loved the church. So a woman should be able to actually trust her husband to be able to respect and honor him. And for that to come, the man also needs to play his role to really love his wife as much as Christ loved the church. So
Amen.
I believe in women really playing their role in the homes. But I also believe that in order for women to effectively play their roles in the home, the men also have to show them that love that they deserve. And that's why I'm about empowering women to manage their homes effectively and then walk into boardrooms and also manage. So that's,
well, look, I think Linda, you've touched on a lot of things tonight. How which are our next last couple of questions. To how do you balance being a mother, entrepreneur, an author? Because I can tell you, as an entrepreneur, I run 4 or 5 businesses. I'm a dad, and you're right. I lead my home, and my wife has made more money than me over the past 5, 6 years. But she still believes in the Bible, like you said, and allowed me to lead as a man. But sometimes we're not defined by our paychecks. We're defined by who we are based on how the Lord has positioned us to live in our own purpose. So, look, we got a couple more questions before we get you out of here. But the last 2 questions, if we could just have you summarize these. How are you able to balance being a homemaker and a working mother? And also, we have what message do you have for viewers where they can sign up for coaching and where they can buy your book? And you have to show us that book. Look, I have a toast for you, author Linda Arrey. This is a toast for you. Where's your book at? This is your toast for you.
You've told me to bring my own glass of wine. I do have some water, so.
Okay. I look, I do apologize. I got to tell you, I'm always drinking rosé. And so someone asked me, say, hey, Dr. White, how come you didn't bring a glass of wine? So I'll tell you next time, because this is not going to be the first time. But just talk to us about those last 2 questions. And this is a toast to you. You do have your book, right?
I do, actually. And
wow. Okay. Memoirs of a Working Mother. I love it. Linda Arrey. I love. And oh, listen, we didn't talk about this. So 3rd question, you gotta. I'm gonna load you up because you sharp as a tack. So you got 3. You sharp. I'll be following you. I love you, author Linda. So how are you able to balance being a homemaker, working mother? What messages do you have for viewers where they can sign up for coaching, because you're a life coach, business coach, all that, and where they can buy your book? But also tell us a little bit about Linda, the name Linda, also Arrey, because I just thought that was so powerful what you explained to us offline. No order is, however you want to tackle the 3 questions, but I really appreciate it.
I'll go in chronological order as you ask them. Balance for me is actually having structure. But balance is also important for us to know that balance is not a constant state of equilibrium. Okay? Balance is not a constant state of equilibrium. because a lot of people get frustrated because they constantly have change in life, and I want balance to be structured and in a box, and that brings a lot of frustration, and that's really not what life balance is. To me,
Okay.
balance is constantly striving to attain, you know, constantly striving to get things in line with your vision and mission and resources and tasks at every given point of time. It's not something that you would attain at some point in your life. You just have a state of constancy, because guess what? Life is constantly changing. If life is not in a state of equilibrium, how can we then think that we as humans can get to a state of constancy? It doesn't work like that. So number one, we have to first understand that balance is not a constant state of equilibrium, to free our minds from that mindset. And to me, balance is constantly just striving for it, especially as a working mother. I can have my whole schedule set out for tomorrow, but guess what? If I wake up and I have a sick child, guess what happens to that schedule? It goes out the window. But because I had that schedule in place, it serves as a structure for me to always come back and see what I actually had to get done. So
Absolutely.
constantly working on it and making adjustments along the way. You should always have a plan. You should always have a means of executing that plan. But knowing that if things don't go as planned, you just jump right back in and do it. And having a plan doesn't mean that you stick with it forever. Having a plan means that you constantly reanalyze that plan and see if it's working for you. Is your plan meeting your purpose? Is your plan executing the things that you want to get done? Is that plan taking you to live the life that you desire? And if at every given point that you're reanalyzing that plan and it's no longer serving you, guess what? You have to change it. That's really what balance is. Balance is having that platform and structure where you can always refer back to it as a guide.
All right, everyone, this is Dr. Larry White Sr. That concludes our show with author Lindy Arrey. She was absolutely an amazing guest tonight. Talked about entrepreneurship, being an entrepreneur, also managing the time of, with being a mother and, being a wife and just, doing the things with her children and her husband. So, you have to have time balance. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight for the Dr. Larry White Sr. Show, where our VIP guest tonight was author Linda Arrey, and she was absolutely amazing. We're looking forward to buying her book. You've seen the website on our, our trail here. So we look forward to seeing everybody. And also shout out to Source Nation, Tracy Jeffcoat, our executive producer, and also Kathy B. God bless everybody. We look forward to seeing y'all November 8th. Don't forget, we have the launch. We got the launch going on. November 8th at Libations. That's in Millersville, Maryland, 6 to 9 p.m. on November 8th. God bless you all. I look forward to seeing y'all for the launch, and we'll talk to you soon. And tune in to next Sunday. We got another special VIP guest and a major announcement, so y'all need to be there.